Hey guys, welcome back to the Daily Departure. I am going to be taking you along on one of my trips today. I am on reserve this month, so that means I am on call. The company can assign me a trip and send me wherever they need to send me. I was good for 5 days of reserve. It's about 2 p.m. right now, and I did just get assigned a trip. So because I was the next to get called out and a 4-day, I guess, popped into open time, I was assigned it because nobody else wanted to pick it up. Unfortunately, I already know that it is a 4-day trip, which I have not done a 4-day trip in so long. I usually... There's crew scheduling calling me, actually. Pardon the interruption. They were calling me to tell me that I have the trip, even though I already know I have it. So I just am gonna go onto my crew portal and acknowledge that I'm going to be working this trip. I already know that it is a 4-day because there were 2 other people ahead of me to get called for 4 days, and both of them got called. There were a lot of other people that were good for 3 days that hadn't been called yet. They would not be calling me for a 3-day because they need to use those people first. So I already know it's a 4-day. I just looked at my calendar too and I see that it is a 4-day sequence, but I am going to dive into exactly what routes we are going to be flying on this 4-day trip and where we will be laying over. Tonight we sign in at 6:27 p.m. and we are flying from Chicago to Atlanta and then laying over. And oh my gosh, okay, I'm really excited about this trip actually. So I was bidding for my January schedule yesterday and there were a bunch of long Atlanta layovers, which I have never had a long Atlanta layover before. And the trips that those long Atlanta layovers were not good trips. I did not want to fly them. I didn't think they were very efficient trips or not worth a lot of hours for the long layover. But I'm gonna have a 20-hour Atlanta layover tonight. So that is super exciting because I was actually really wanting one and I've never had it before. Cool. The following day we will do Atlanta to LA, layover for 11.5 hours. Next day, LA to Dulles, which is on the East Coast near DC. And that will be a very long day also, just straight across the country. And then that last day we do Dulles to Dallas and then Dallas to Chicago. So long day the last day, but this trip actually is not that terrible. There are 1 leg each day and then 2 the last day. That's only 5 flights in 4 days. So that is not a bad trip. I'm actually super excited about it. And I get an Atlanta layover. I am so pumped about this. I have been wanting an Atlanta layover since I've been flying and I've never had one. So yay, I get to take you along on my first Atlanta layover. But really quick side note, this is actually not my first Atlanta layover in general. My first trip I ever flew, I had an Atlanta layover for 10 hours my second night. So this is not my first Atlanta layover, but my first long Atlanta layover. I am finishing getting ready for my trip. I'm packing my food right now, but I just got off the phone with my sister and she called me and was asking me what flight I was working and where I was going to tonight because I had made a comment about having an Atlanta layover. And apparently her boyfriend is going to be a passenger on my flight tonight. He usually does not fly on my airline, but is flying on my airline tonight. And of course I just happened to get assigned a trip with the first leg from Chicago to Atlanta, and he's going to be one of my passengers tonight. I kind of wish she wouldn't have told me because I think it would have been funnier if they would have just met me at the airport or something, or him met me on the plane. Welcome to Atlanta. I'm just stepping in my room right now. It's a little corner room and it looks like some nice city views out here that I will show you in the morning once it's lit up a little bit more. Here's the entryway over here. The bathroom is just this little small bathroom. So I guess the deal with this 4-day trip and why I got assigned it was because whoever the original number 2 was either was sick or maybe didn't make their commute into work. The crew originally did a Minneapolis turn, so they went from Chicago to Minneapolis, Minneapolis back to Chicago, and had a little bit of sit time. So they ended up calling somebody off of standby who was already at the airport to work the Minneapolis turn with the crew, but that person was not good for 4 days. So then they pulled that person off of the crew and they added me to it. No wonder I was like, this trip seems so easy. It's just 1 leg the first 3 days, but technically they had 3 legs the first 3 days, but I just obviously didn't work the first 2 legs today because I came onto the trip later. Okay, really quick too before I go to bed. I'm just on the phone with my boyfriend really quick, but look at this shirt that I'm wearing. I got it from my best friend Emily for I think my birthday or Christmas or something last year, but it's an airplane with a heartbeat.
I repeat, this is only a test of our life safety system. We apologize for any inconvenience. Thank you.
Well, good morning. If you weren't up, you're gonna be up now. So apparently they want to wake everyone up with an emergency test system, and it's only 10 a.m, which I know is like when people, I still have my eye mask on, people usually have the day started by then, but like we got in so late last night, like everyone is still sleeping on my crew except for one person I was texting. So. All right, I just finished getting ready, but I'm gonna show you my morning view. It's just straight up downtown buildings, but I'm gonna throw my shoes on really quick and then go meet my crew downstairs because I told them I'd meet them at 11 and it's almost 11 a.m. All right, we are just getting to the Coke Museum. I'm here with one of my crew members, and I think one of the other girls from our crew is gonna meet us too. We are finally here. There's all this fun little like Coke paraphernalia all over. All right, we got our complimentary Coke drink. This is the room that I'm the most excited about, the tasting room. One of my crew members, we are in the 4D theater getting ready for our movie with moving seats. Our little glasses on and everything. It's cozy. We're ready for this. All right, we survived our 4D ride, which was very jerky. Now there's a giant gift shop we get to walk through. So I keep telling myself I'm gonna start collecting ornaments from places that I travel to. So I think I'm gonna get a little Coke ornament. And this is the one that I'm looking at getting, but I'm holding one that was broken that I grabbed off the shelf. We just got to our room in LA, and I'm gonna tell you how our easy day ended up being such a long day. We were supposed to just work Atlanta to LA, and the flight time was pretty long actually because must have been the really strong winds going into LA, but we were supposed to have a flight time of almost like 5 hours, which is so long from Atlanta to LA. And as you can tell, I definitely am like coming down with a cold right now, so it's super unfortunate. My nose has been just so annoying. We ended up leaving late because our inbound came in delayed, and then we tried to board up really quick, but then there was a weight and balance issue on the plane, which basically means the plane was too heavy to fly, so they had to remove passengers, and they unfortunately didn't do it until we were all boarded up and ready to go. They ended up telling everyone that we had to have 2 passengers get off because we were too heavy, but they offered them some flight vouchers in exchange for them getting off, and there were a bunch of people that were willing to do it, but they ended up taking these 2 gentlemen off the flight. We ended up actually being able to leave with them because they lifted the weight restriction or whatever, but we were super delayed because they were redoing all the paperwork. We left almost like an hour and a half late, so our flight then ended up being 6 hours, because 6.5 hours actually, because we went around all of this weather. We were supposed to get into LA at 11:39 p.m. and right now it is 11:49 p.m. so we got in pretty much like 2 hours late because of the delay and having to go back to the gate and everything. So it was a very long day, and that flight was just so long. A handful of people missed their connections or were like running to their connections and stuff too. So we had some really good troopers that were just, you know, going with the flow of the delay, and then we had some people that were just a little crazy. So it definitely had some stories from this flight because we had some characters on this flight. Our overnight is super short now. It's about 10 hours. So I'm going to sleep right now. I'm going to get changed, take my makeup off and everything, and go to bed because we have pickup at 9:10. So I got to wake up at 8:10, and that'll be just about 8 hours of sleep. And as I said, I'm coming down with the cold. I kind of got hit hard with it in the evening after we were at the museum and everything today, so I'm definitely needing this little bit of rest, and then we just have one more flight tomorrow, halfway through this 4-day trip. Hey, good morning. I'm just watching some of the planes take off and land before I head downstairs for pickup. Pretty nice view out here actually. But I slept most of the night. It was a pretty short overnight. I only had like 9 hours in the room, and I gotta head downstairs for pickup really soon. But I pretty much slept most of the night, and I woke up so congested. I just got hit so hard with this cold yesterday evening and woke up with it even worse. So we just have one leg today. We're flying from LA to Dulles, so west coast to east coast, but hopefully everything will go smoothly and I will get some rest on this next overnight, even though it's pretty short too. My body will definitely need this rest. And then our 4th day is actually our longest day, so that's kind of a bummer. Here's our lovely room in Dulles in Virginia. Beautiful view of a parking garage. We literally just got into our hotel room, and the van actually didn't run that frequently at the airport, so my crew stopped and got pizza at And Pizza, which is my favorite pizza place like ever. If I didn't pack food, I totally would have gotten some, so I was kind of bummed that I packed food because I love their pizza and I crave it all the time. But I skipped out this time just because I'm trying to eat my food and not make it go bad on this 4-day. We have pickup at 5:30 tomorrow morning. Right now it is 7:07, so I'm pretty much gonna eat some food and go to bed because I feel so congested, and I was sneezing the whole flight. It was horrible. You can probably even tell in my voice that I'm so congested. I'm going to go to bed and I will see you in the morning. Really quick though, I knew I was forgetting something about the flight. We had Santa on our flight today, so that was kind of cute. Santa and his wife were on our plane and they brought us candy canes, which was really sweet of them, but we wish we would have gotten a picture with him. Once we got off the plane, we were like, shoot, we should have asked him to take a picture with us. Christmas music in the morning. Trying to get in the spirit of Christmas. I just finished getting ready right now, and I'm gonna pack up the rest of my stuff and then head downstairs for pickup. I just wanted to note, if you noticed, I had 3 layovers this trip because I was flying a 4-day trip, and the first one, while that one was 20 hours and it was a long layover, these past 2 layovers that we've had were so short. We barely had time to get 8 hours of sleep and to have like an hour to get ready in the morning before we had our van pickup times. Layovers sometimes can be so short that you barely feel like you have time to do anything. I guess it's not really a complaint because I still had enough time to get 8 hours of sleep, which is great. And I know a lot of people that have regular jobs sometimes don't have that amount of like time to have sleep and stuff, but just an example of sometimes how busy our schedules can be, and the routes that we're flying can cause us to have shorter layovers, especially with the time change, because yesterday we started on the west coast and we made our way all the way to the east coast, and it was the same the day prior where we started on the east coast and then made our way all the way to the west coast. So sometimes with the time change difference, you don't necessarily get long layovers because you cross so many different time zones. Sometimes just the way the trips are set up, you don't have very long layovers. I had enough time to eat, sleep, and get ready this morning, and then it's back to Chicago today. So the other day, one of our captains gave us a Starbucks gift card, so we stopped and got Starbucks today in the airport. So thank you to that pilot who was so sweet. Alright guys, I finally made it home. I survived this 4-day trip. I honestly do not know how people do 4-day trips because it was really exhausting, and I'm really excited to be home and get some rest to try to get better from this nasty cold that I have. I'm also super excited to get home though because my Cyber Monday purchase finally came in the mail. This is something I've been wanting for a while now, and I bought an air fryer, so I'm so excited. That's like the best part about coming home from this 4-day trip. Gonna make some food now and enjoy that and test out my new air fryer. But I hope you guys enjoyed taking along with me on this 4-day trip, and I look forward to making some more videos in the future. Just hopefully they're not more 4-day trips because I do not want to fly another 4-day anytime soon. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also make sure to subscribe to The Daily Departure and ring the bell to get notifications when I'm posting new videos, because I'm always traveling and trying to create more content for you guys, and also to experience the non-rev life with me in traveling. I will see you next time on The Daily Departure.